Welcome to church this morning. This is our post-concert Sunday morning. We had our holiday concert last night, and it was glorious. And so thank you, those of you that are here. We are here, and I think everyone in the band played last night. So it's a long church weekend. So we're going to play 3 songs for you, and I believe you all know what to do. Lyrics, please. Here we go. Here we go. I'm so glad Spirit lives in me. I'm so glad Spirit lives in me. I'm so glad Spirit lives in me. Singing glory, hallelujah. Spirit lives in me. When I was in trouble, Spirit lifted me. When I was in trouble, Spirit lifted me. When I was in trouble, Spirit lifted me. Singing glory, hallelujah. Spirit lifted me. I'm so glad Spirit lifted me. I'm so glad Spirit lifted me. Yes, yes, I'm so glad Spirit lifted me. Singing glory, hallelujah. Spirit lifted me. I'm so full of joy. Spirit lifted me. I'm so full of joy. Spirit lifted me. I'm so full of joy. Spirit lifted me. Singing glory, hallelujah. Spirit lifted me. Well, I'm so glad Spirit lifted me. I'm so glad. Yes, Spirit lifted me. Yes, yes, I'm so glad Spirit lifted me. Singing glory, hallelujah. Spirit, one more time. I'm so glad Spirit lifted me. I'm so glad Spirit lifted me. Well, I'm so glad Spirit lifted me. Singing glory, hallelujah. Spirit lifted me. All right. So we're going to sing Deep for y'all. Oh, deep, way down, deep down in my heart. Oh, deep, way down, deep down in my heart. I've got the love of justice. I've got the love of justice. Got the love of justice, and it's deep down in my heart. Oh, deep, way down, deep down in my heart. Oh, deep, way down in my heart. I've got the peace of justice. I've got the peace of justice. I've got the peace of justice, and it's so way down in my heart. Oh, deep, way down in my heart. Oh, deep, way down in my heart. I got the joy of justice. I got the joy of justice. I got the joy of justice, and it's deep down in my peace of justice. Got the joy of justice, and it's deep down in my heart. All right. We will be soloists this, not soloists, sololess this morning. We had plenty last night, that's right. All right, we're going to lay down our sword and shield. Where?
Down by the riverside.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. Study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I'm gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside. Study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Gonna shake hands all around the world, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna shake hands all around the world, down by the riverside. Study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. 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 I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. Study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war. Here we go. I ain't gonna study war no. That big rock and roll finish. Oh. Small but mighty. Joyful noise, everybody. Where's Marilyn?
Good morning. Marilyn's not here yet. There's been lots of illnesses, and I'm so glad that you are here and healthy. So there's Marilyn. Today is going to be a very active service. There's going to be lots of movement. There's going to be a special candle ceremony, which I'll invite you to participate later. But actually, in any time, if you want to go back to the narthex and roll a solstice wish candle, there's people back there, and they can show you how to do that. And then during the service, there'll be a time when we do our prayer, meditation, intention on the candle, and then we get to light them and put them in there.
Good morning and welcome to church. I'm Marilyn McMahon, Secretary of the Board of Trustees. We'll begin by acknowledging the land we are on. We acknowledge the land and the peoples who belong to this land, the Muwekma Ohlone peoples. Our church, institutions, and homes are occupying their lands, ancestral and current. We acknowledge that the lands were stolen from the Ohlone peoples, who have an ancestral relationship with this land, the plants, the animals, and the water, for millennia, continuous to the present day. Ohlone people are still here. We also recognize that the Ohlone ancestors, in spirit and of the land, are present. With all Indigenous people and their right to self-determination and justice, we commit to working toward accountability of the theft, dispossession, and resulting trauma Native peoples continue to face. We commit to being active partners toward the healing of the intergenerational trauma which persists to this day. Amen. So may we live. And now I have some announcements. Am I supposed to do the song?
And go ahead and invite Kate up to join you.
Oh, Kate? Cade? All right, Cade will help me with the announcements. All right, I'll do the first one.
The sock drive benefiting our unhoused neighbors that concludes today. You are invited to help gift wrap the socks that have been donated and also to meet our neighbors at Jefferson Park where the socks will be distributed. You can find the gift wrapping crew and organizers of the drive in Wenty Hall after worship service.
In consideration of the holidays, the board has moved its usual fourth Tuesday meeting. It will meet this afternoon instead. The meeting will be on Zoom. It begins at 3 o'clock with a 15-minute public comment period. You may also send comments to board@uuoakland.org to be read aloud for you. You can find the links to Zoom and to the meeting packet in the Chalice Chatter. But I apologize, the meeting packet is not there yet. I'll get it there as soon as I can after the service. Next Saturday, Christmas Eve, two beloved traditions will return right here in Hamilton Hall. First, at 5 p.m., will be the multi-generational, no rehearsal Christmas pageant. With imagination and the willing participation of many children, youth, and the young at heart, we will bring to life the Christmas story. And at 8 p.m., we will have a candlelight service. We will sing hymns and gather together.
Advent is a season of wholehearted and joyful preparation for the coming liberation of everyone. We lit candles previously, reflecting on hope, faith, and joy. Today, we light the fourth candle and our congregational chalice in the spirit of love with words from Black feminist scholar Bell Hooks. And here are her words. When angels speak of love, they tell us it is only by loving that we enter an earthly paradise. They tell us paradise is our home and love our true destiny. Okay. Now, please join me in a moment of silent meditation with a breath of intention as Cade lights our peace corps, actually looks like it's Jeff, lights our peace candle, our Black Lives Matter candle, and our flaming chalice.
This morning, we gather to embrace several holidays with a common focus of the power of light, to practice hope for connection and to celebrate across cultures and faith traditions. Our ancestors gathered to celebrate and cheer on the life-giving sun's return and to chase away the fears that the sun might not return. We no longer roll flaming wheels down the hill. We embrace several traditions' ways of honoring the blessed dance of dark and light. Sometimes only a single light shines in the darkness, and yet the darkness cannot extinguish that light. As light attracts light, we find each other and share our light. Please join us in the light of this service by saying in one voice, "Come, let us worship together."
I'd like to invite you to take a moment to greet the folks around you, also seeking and worshiping. When after we've greeted for a few minutes, I will ring the singing bowl like this to cue you to find your seats. But before we do that, will you take a moment and wave with me and say, "Hi, Zoom friends"?
Hi, Zoom friends.
Okay, congregation, let's greet one another. And now, please join me in a moment of silent meditation, which we already did. Okay. Now, and now that I've been talking to you, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Emily Stoper, and today we will be lighting a menorah, and I'm going to tell you the story behind the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah. The story of Hanukkah tells us a lot about how the Jewish religion grew and changed. Hanukkah began about 2,200 years ago, 2,200 years ago, in the 2nd century BCE. A group of ultra-Orthodox Jews called the Maccabees led a violent rebellion against a non-Jewish king named Antiochus, who was the ruler in Jerusalem at that time. Antiochus tried to reduce the Jews' freedom of religion, and when they rebelled, he drove them out of their temple. That was devastating, awful for them, because at that time, the Jewish religion centered around the temple, where animals were sacrificed. Some Jewish leaders wanted to add aspects of the Greek religion into Jewish practice, which Antiochus also wanted. Those Jewish leaders were killed by the Maccabees too. The Maccabees' rebellion was a success. The temple was restored to the Jews so that animal sacrifices could start again. Well, I must admit, I have mixed feelings about this story. I mean, I'm glad the tyrant was defeated, and I'm glad freedom of religion was restored to the Jews. But I think it's terrible that some Jews were killed because they wanted some changes in religious practice, as were many other people. And I'm also horrified by the killing of animals as part of worship, an important part of worship. Anyway, the Maccabees started Hanukkah as an annual celebration of the victory, with feasting and rejoicing, but no menorahs. They hadn't really come into use at that time, 2nd century BC. Then, about 200 years later, that temple that they had restored was totally destroyed by the Romans after a Jewish uprising that was not successful. No more temple meant no more sacrifice of animals. Most of the Jews left Jerusalem and lived in faraway places, and they gradually developed a new form of Judaism that didn't involve animal sacrifice. The priests who had led the sacrifices were replaced by rabbis who devoted themselves to studying the Bible and to writing new interpretations that could be used to guide Jews, no matter where they lived, on how to live a holy life according to God's laws. The rabbis encouraged all Jews to do what I'm doing now, which is ponder the holy writings, talk about them, and develop their own thoughts about them, both appreciative and critical thoughts. And then the next thing that happens is about 600 years after the Maccabees' victory, some of these rabbis, in that new spirit, started to tell a new Hanukkah story, which you just might have heard before. In the new story, when the Maccabees and their followers came back after the uprising to dedicate the temple again, they found that there was only enough holy oil to keep the light in the temple burning for one day. That was a sacred light that must never be allowed to go out. By a miracle, God kept the light burning for 8 days until the Jews were able to get enough holy oil to keep the light going. So that's the story that the rabbis told 600 years after the actual event. To go with the story, the rabbis taught the Jews to light menorahs, like these 3 that you see up here, and to put them out by a door or in a street-facing window for 8 days. Remember, the 8 days that the rabbis said that the miracle took place. They played down the victory of the Maccabees since they didn't want to encourage violent uprisings, which usually ended in disaster. And instead, they created a festival of lights centered around a menorah. The candlelighting rituals vary among Jews in different parts of the world, but they all celebrate light and renewal and rededication and hope. What could be better for the season of solstice? Hanukkah isn't usually celebrated in a temple or synagogue. It's mostly celebrated in homes. In some parts of the world, a menorah is lit by and for every single family member, including the children, on every one of the 8 nights of Hanukkah. And there's feasting, too. Appropriately, the traditional Hanukkah foods like potato pancakes or latkes are fried in oil. Now, my parents we're not at all religious. But when I was a kid, we always lit Hanukkah candles and retold the story of the miracle. And my husband and I did the same thing with our kids. There's something very appealing about lighting candles together, no matter what you believe or don't believe. So, happy Hanukkah, everyone. Tonight's the first night. In a few minutes, we're going to light the menorah, and Matt Goldsmith is going to say the special prayer for lighting the menorah. So come on up, Matt. But first, I'm going to show you some pictures of great menorahs. Something about this image inspires people to create beautiful art. There are hundreds, maybe thousands of variations on it. You're just seeing 3 of them here. It's old-fashioned, modern, European, Middle Eastern, plain, fancy. So here are some samples for your pleasure. Okay. After the service, you'll have the chance to play the special Hanukkah game with a spinning top called a dreidel. Now, let's say the prayer. Oh, there you are. And light the menorah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvosav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Hanukkah, which means something along the lines of, "Praise be thou, O Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who makes us holy by our covenant with him and commands us to light the Hanukkah candles." He needs a lot of affirmation.
Okay, the big one's called a shamus, and you use it to light the other candles with. Beautiful. Thank you, Matt. Okay, and you're going to like these too, yeah? Okay. So Hanukkah has also inspired a lot of songs, like "O Hanukkah, Come Light the Menorah," "Rock of Ages," "Ocho Candelitas," which you are familiar with if you were here last night. My favorite song was a Hanukkah song, was sung by Peter, Paul, and Mary, and you are about to hear it.
Good morning, everyone. I am delighted to be up here this morning with Stefan Schneider singing for you. I just want to check at the end of lighting all these menorah candles. Are there words that are spoken afterwards that I don't want to talk over? Okay, good. I got to make a candle in the back of the church. We have sheets of beeswax and wicks that you can roll your own candle. And then we're going to be lighting them later. And I invite all of you, if you wish, to step in the back. It's really fun, and there's someone to show you how to do it. And there are lots of ways to bring light. You can wear fancy shoes. You can bring color, you can smile, you can extend a hand. There's so many ways to bring light during this time. With this song, Light One Candle, I'm going to teach you the chorus so that you can sing the chorus in between the verses. So we're going to move to the slide that has the chorus when it shows up. The words are, "Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears." This is how the chorus goes. shine through our love and our tears. What the heck, let's try, here we go. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. All right, I'll cue you when it's time for you to sing. You ready? Lovely, here we go. Light one candle for the Maccabee children, with thanks that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. But light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. What is the memory that's valued so highly that we keep it alive in that flame? What's the commitment to those who have died that we cry out they've not died in vain? We have come this far, always believing that justice would somehow prevail. This is the burden, this is the promise, this is why we will not fail. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our fears. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out, don't let the light go out, don't let the light go out.
Good morning. I'm Jody Mathis, and I invite you to see me not in the red turtleneck, but in a long white nightgown with a red sash, wreath of lingonberry twigs, and candles on my head. Can you do that? So, growing up, my family celebrated Santa Lucia Day. We would bake special rolls. Some of you have received those rolls coming in. See me after the service for more. I got up this morning and baked 70 of them, so we have plenty. The custom is that the children bring them warm with coffee to their parents early in the morning on Santa Lucia Day, December 13th. My sister and I even participated a few times in public celebrations. Cue that slide. While singing Swedish Christmas carols in our hometown of Salem, Oregon. I'm 5 or 6 in this photo. You can see the little candle flame. I'm holding the candle and struggling to remember the Swedish words of the songs. I've carried on the tradition with my daughters, who had their own white nightgowns and red sashes to wear and helped me make the rolls. I did not let them wear a wreath with the candles, though. So, why would Lucia, a 4th century Sicilian woman, be celebrated in Sweden? And why December 13th? Start by knowing that in the Julian calendar, when this tradition started, December 13th was the darkest day of the year. The legendary Lucia was celebrated for bringing light and food to people hiding from persecution in dark underground tunnels. There's more to the story. There was martyrdom. We don't need to go in that. But the ritual of bringing light and golden baked rolls, called lucicat, to our families recreates the legend and the light and the warmth and the nourishment she brought to those. By celebrating Santa Lucia on December 13th, we demonstrate the return of the light and the nourishment that light brings. Next slide. In this way, Santa Lucia Day takes place among all the other world traditions, honoring the return of light on the darkest day of the year. Thank you.
And I'm just going to describe just briefly to you. So you know that there's some wax sheets in the back and the wicks, and there's a little piece of colored wax you can use to decorate. That at some point in the next bit of time, I invite you to very much just go into your heart and go into your mind, and what is the wish that you have for yourself, for the community, for the world, the prayer, to meditate, and put that thought, heart, wish, prayer, intention into the candle. Having done that, we'll have you come up and light the candle and put it in the sand tray. So whoever's the first person will come up and grab a bit of flame and put the candle into the sand tray. And then the other candles will be lit from that one candle as we share each other's light. And in doing so, we'll move through this time period and invite you to be singing as I'm sending you light.
Hello again. Many of you may be familiar with this beautiful chant by Melanie DeMore, and we're going to sing it a number of times, so if you don't know it, I hope that you will be able to join in. And mostly, just to let yourself be here in the company of others, in the light of our hearts together. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. One more time. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light Lovely. I invite you to come forward with your candles as you wish. I'm going to go noodle on the piano.
Wow. Now is the time for our embracing meditation, a time to express your joys and sorrows. So please speak out. Let us know.
Indy's 19th birthday and her return from her first semester.
People in the who are on Zoom, put your thoughts in the chat, please. Okay. And now let us all say together, we hold them in our hearts. We hold them in our hearts.
A solstice story. There is no one solstice story. There are so many, for so many generations, so many millennia, farther back in time than any of us can remember, farther back than our cultures can remember, which is why there's such a diversity. But let's not forget the power of the dark. Within the dark is the creative, emergent, unknown. It can be a place of solace, healing, and birth. It is the dark where the seed begins to grow. Without the dark, there would be no experience of the light. People of all ages have experience of being in the dark with wonder and anticipation. So sometimes we also experience a fear of the dark, a fear of the unknown. But if anybody here remembers being at a slumber party, when in the dark, when you have company, it's not afraid, unless you like to tell ghost stories. But it is in the company in the dark that our lights come together. And when we gather to share our inner light as heartfelt joy, sending each other light, I'm sending you light. One of my favorite rituals of light is not limited to the winter time, the sunless months, but practiced weekly. That's right, the lighting of the Unitarian Universalist chalice right here in our sanctuary. And this single flame reminds me that each of us has this spark within, and that the power of committed community can blaze as mighty as the sun. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Let it be a dance we do, a blessed dance with our dark and our light in a winter solstice chant.
Doing a wonderful variety of music during this service to honor all the different ways that different cultures and different spiritual groups choose to feel and honor the light and let it be and guide them in their lives. And what we're going to do now is share with you a winter solstice chant with the power of handbells, which brings a lovely ancient feel to it. The words are going to be up on the screen. I invite you to join. I'm going to teach you the melody briefly. And if the words go by too fast, you can you can la, 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 la. You can just sit in your seat and enjoy it in any way that moves you to join in feeling and celebrating the light. So this is how the melody goes. La 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 got it. Here we go. Darkness does wane, the winter's chill, the seasons reign so bitter still. Fire's bright seed is born anew, small sprout of light we sing to you. Birthday of light we hail and cheer, though short the day still cold and drear. Solstice has come and with this morn our brother's son has been reborn. Darkness does wane, the winter's chill, the seasons reign so bitter still. If thy bright seed is born anew, small sprout of light we sing to you. Birthday of light we hail and cheer, though short the day still cold and drear. Solstice has come and with this morn our brother's son has been reborn.
That was delightful. Thank you so much. Love the bells. Kevin Mann, thanks so much for this next reflection.
Good morning, congregation. My name's Kevin, and I've been a joyful member of this church since the fall of 2010. And Pastor Ninan asked me to speak about what does the First Unitarian Church of Oakland mean to me. The late civil rights activist John Lewis called us to not get lost in a sea of despair. Be hopeful. Be optimistic. Our struggle is not the struggle of a day, a week, a month, or a year. Our struggle is the struggle of a lifetime. Never, ever be afraid to make some good noise. Never be afraid to make necessary trouble, good trouble. John Lewis's call to get in good trouble reminds me of the best that we can be as Unitarian Universalists as we struggle to bend the arc towards justice, dismantle white supremacy, and forge transformative relationships with all people struggling to be free. Being a member of the First Unitarian Church of Oakland means being part of something bigger than myself, that has a long-term vision for a world and a faith that does not yet exist. Being a UU means doing the hard internal and external work to challenge oppression within, among, and beyond our walls. As our world is rocked by wave after wave, crisis after crisis, storm after storm, I know I can come home here to this sanctuary in the heart of downtown Oakland. There is a healing balm beneath our ancient redwood rafters. There is strength in these red brick walls. There is the light of hope in our songs and in our music. There is prophetic long-term vision in our mission and our covenants. There is love flickering in the lights of these candles all around us. There is authentic welcome here for those of us at the margins with no other place left to turn. Here, we create beloved community that centers people from the margins, uplift voices that would be drowned out elsewhere. As we forge solidarity among the oppressed and the privileged, we learn what Aboriginal activist Lilia Watson tells us, that our liberation is bound together. With you at my side, First Unitarian Church of Oakland, I'm so excited to let you know that next March of next year, I will be seeing the Ministerial Fellowship Committee, and I will be seeking full fellowship and ordination to become the queer Filipino-American Unitarian Universalist minister I know I am called to be. Thank you. Thank you. And no, I know that we are not alone in our quest for life-saving liberal religion. No, we are not alone in our quest for liberation among all people, all races, all genders, all sexual orientations, all nations, and all creatures of the earth, sea, and sky. No, we are not isolated individuals on separate paths, but instead, we are connected to each other and to a vast network of local, national, and global people willing to do the hard thing, willing to get in good trouble, necessary trouble. Indeed, the problems of today's world are many. The threat of global war, the worst pandemic in 100 years, climate change and fires that block out the sun, attacks on affirmative action, reproductive justice, and the constant mind-numbing murders of Black, brown, and LGBTQ people with gun policies that baffle the world. So much to do. So little time before it's too late once again. Changing this whole world sounds like a pretty big task. And alone, I am but one voice. So, I come here, to this place that I can only describe best as magic, to this sanctuary and shelter, for you hold my dreams when I've forgotten them. You light my candle when my flame goes dim. You offer me life-giving water and freshly baked bread. You offer these on the days I need it the most. On the days I feel most hopeless, like after that tragic night at Club Q a few weeks ago in Colorado Springs. Lives ended who just wanted to dance and be free that night. So thank you, First Unitarian Church of Oakland, for wondering with me if another world is possible, as Arundhati Roy asks. Thank you for creating moments of community and connection in this ever-isolating world. Thank you for restoring my resilience and reminding me of who I am and who I am called to be. For a moment, I close my eyes on Sunday mornings. I let the music and the prayers and the light through the stained glass windows wash over me, cleanse me, and mend the broken parts of my soul. For a moment, I remember I am deeply loved by this universe. As the past president of Star King School for the Ministry, Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker reminds us, none of us alone can save the world. Together, that is another possibility waiting. Until that day, blessed be, Salamat, Amen.
Thank you, Kevin, for sharing your fire.
The gratitude collection will now be gratefully received. There's also a QR code located on the back of your chairs. Your generous support will go towards building this beloved community. We thank you. We invite the ushers to come forward as we say our words of generosity. In one voice, we say, to the work of the church, which is weaving a tapestry of love we call community, we dedicate ourselves and these our offerings.
And now a traditional sun parade. And Tara is going to be the sun. And any children of any age, large or small, I invite everyone to participate in hailing the sun, following the sun, coming up the aisle, going around the sanctuary, and closing out our service today. And we have a special bit of music to get us going.
Susan talked about how different cultures celebrate solstice. This is how rock and roll did it.
Here comes the sun, do do do.
Sing along.
Here comes the sun, I'd say it's all right. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, do do do. Here comes the sun, I say it's all right. Little darling, the smiles returning to their faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, I say it's all right. Sun, 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 here it comes. 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 Little darling, I feel the ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say it's all right. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say it's all right. It's all right.
I invite you to stay up here, and those of you who wish to rise in body and/or spirit for our benediction,
tell the kids to fiddle this. Okay.
And after the benediction, the kids of any age will go around and find the little suns hidden around the sanctuary. May the light of Christmas, Hanukkah, Solstice, and our chalice shine brightly within us. May our inner light of warmth, joy, and peace lift our hearts, our families, and our communities. May the spirit of love and generosity overflow in our lives and inspire us to reach out to both friend and stranger with kindness and compassion. May this holiday season be a time of renewal and hope, and may we come together to celebrate the promise of liberation and hope of the new year. Amen. Let's have here comes the sun again as we have the kids look for the suns.
You're the best sun dancer.
Sing and dance.